Hey everyone, Allison here. This week's episode of the Half Hour Happy Hour with Allison and Alex is brought to you by Third Love. Put fit first with Third Love. Third Love uses real women's measurements to create bras that fit better. Available in sizes AA through G, as well as their exclusive half cup sizes. Ooh. Try one of Third Love's 24/7 bras free for 30 days. If it's not your new favorite, return or exchange it for free. Go to thirdlove.com/happy hour now and try Third Love free for 30 days. That is thirdlove.com/happy hour. You are welcome, ladies.
Now entering Nerdist.com.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Half Hour Happy Hour with Allison and Alex. I'm Alison Haislip.
And I'm Alex Albrecht. This week, like every week, we are going to sip some booze and spit some news.
I've missed you.
I know, it's weird. It's been...
I know, it's been too long.
Like a long time.
3 weeks?
I think
2
maybe
weeks?
even longer.
Really?
Yeah, a long time. Hey, speaking of long time, me love you long time, Tom Super Volcano Krajewski. How are you, buddy?
Hello.
How you guys do? So how you guys... First off, the world didn't end.
The world did not end.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Crazy shit happened, but that's the world we live in now.
I know,
It's
right?
continuing to
Why?
Just continue
Why?
to be
ending, but-
crazy, yeah.
Why?
But Mrs. Haislip,
Mrs.
Miss
Yeah.
Haislip.
Yeah. I was going
How-
to say I'm not my mother, and then I realized my mother isn't even Mrs. Haislip because she doesn't have my dad's last name.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to meet somebody's parent that doesn't have the last name because I feel like
Yes.
that's a very
Yeah.
our generation.
Exactly.
How was Gen Con?
Oh, Gen Con. It was amazing. I met a lot of listeners.
Oh, cool.
Half
Really?
Hour Happy Hour listeners. Yeah, they
I
were
like
great.
that.
So it was our show.
Yeah, and it's fun. You know, they released my Alison character for King of Tokyo.
Saw the
Looked
pictures.
gorgeous,
really
by the
good.
way.
Yeah, which made it up to like number 31 on the most wanted exclusives at Gen Con list or something
Wow.
like
That's
that.
awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know. It was rad. And I did all these We originally were like, I wasn't going to do any signings. And then they were like, because I originally wasn't supposed to get in until late Thursday night.
Right,
and then
right.
my flights got changed and all this stuff. And so I was going to be there Thursday with not a lot to do. And they were like, well, why don't we do a signing?
Yeah.
And I was like, great. And the signing was so popular that we added signings for every day that I was there.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So people could go up, get their Alison.
And then I could sign
then
it,
get
and I could
the
take a picture with
Alison
them.
signed.
Yeah, the Alison
cool.
signed.
The Alison signed by Alison.
Yeah, but let me tell you, Gen Con is just...
Oh, yeah. How was the experience
Gen
of
Con is just
Gen
a
Con?
happy place.
Yeah.
Yeah?
So, you know, it's...
Not like those miserable Comic-Con people.
Yeah, those
Well, but-
begrudgings.
But one, it's not nearly as packed and crowded. Like, you know, it's still a
interesting.
convention. You're still like, you know, getting through a crowd, but not anything insane. And it's so all about tabletop gaming, and everyone there is there because they're a fan of tabletop gaming. It's not like, oh,
Right.
you have comic book fans and you have movie fans
Yeah,
and you have
yeah, yeah.
whatever.
That's cool.
And the whole community in and out of the convention is so supportive of what's happening there. Like, you know, it's a convention center, so there's hotels that are attached to it.
Yeah.
And in the hotels around the area, in the lobbies, they would have tables set up that said reserved for tabletop gaming.
That's cool.
Oh,
So like
cool.
anyone could walk in, set up a game, and if you were walking by, they'd be like, "Hey, we need a fifth. You want to join?" And they'll be like, "Yeah," and you could just
cool.
join.
Oh, that's super
Yeah, people
fun.
were just sitting around playing games everywhere.
So did you play a lot of games, or were you just too busy?
I mean, I played a lot of yellow games because basically whenever
Yeah.
I had any downtime at the booth, I would just make one of the people working at the booth sit down and play one of the games
That's
with
cool.
me.
Amazing.
Yeah. But it was a really good time. And I had the crazy shrimp cocktail at St. Elmo, the
Oh,
steak
right. Yeah. St.
restaurant.
Elmo's Fire. Yeah.
The shrimp cocktail, they make their own
Cocktail
horse.
sauce.
Yeah, and they put so much horseradish in it.
Mm-hmm.
It just you cry. You legitimately cry.
Like a horseradish.
You don't like that?
Oh,
That's my favorite. It's one of my
Jen
favorite
loves it too.
things in the world.
love
is
it.
hot cocktail sauce.
Hey, do they do like cosplay at Gen Con?
There was some, but not a ton.
Because next year I'd love someone to show up as like a giant cardboard cutout of your character. Just
Like not just my
cardboard.
character, but the cardboard
Yeah,
version
just-
of
yeah,
it. That'd
just
be
right in front of
hilarious.
That would be amazing.
That'd be amazing.
I feel like
I just might do that just
are you
'cause.
going to go for Halloween as your own Alison?
Oh man, that's
kind
a
of
lot.
looked like the Kill Bill girl.
Yeah,
kinda.
I
They
think
had that
people would
cool
just think I'm
costume.
Uma Thurman from
Yeah,
Kill Bill.
I guess that's true. But then you could just be like, no, you're
No.
wrong.
And you
You're
hold
not
up your
getting
game.
me.
I'm
What's this?
Alison.
I'm
yeah.
Alison, and then they're like, oh God, who brought Allison?
Yeah, and then I flew from Gen
She's
Con.
Diego.
horribly racist.
Oh, gosh. So then I flew from Gen Con to my parents' place.
Yeah.
Flying from Indianapolis to Savannah, Georgia, you had to take a layover.
Oh.
And of course, my first flight was delayed. So I landed in Atlanta and had 26 minutes to run to a different terminal and board my next flight.
Yeah.
You cannot fly directly off the jet planes in Atlanta.
I know. I get to my parents' place. Then you guys would be so proud of me. I thought of you guys during this. So my parents don't have HBO. They don't watch Game of Thrones. But I obviously do watch Game of Thrones.
Obviously.
And I was there for Sunday night. So I had to spend 2 hours figuring out how to hook up my mother's computer to the TV.
Yeah.
They don't have like an Apple TV or Roku?
They have a Roku, but
that doesn't stream.
They hadn't used the remote control in 2 years, and when I opened it up, the batteries had disintegrated into the remote. So the remote was dead, and you can't operate the Roku without the remote.
I gave you this to your anniversary, Mom.
Yeah, so it was a lot, but I finally figured it out, and maybe I T-bowed when I did it. I got on my knees. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
And then the next day, we drove up to Charleston to see the total solar eclipse.
Yeah.
I'll talk about that in a second. But I had to then fly from Charleston to LA right after. 2 flights as well. First flight massively delayed. Landed. I had 13 minutes to run to my next gate.
Oh my God.
And so that was 4 flights in 2 days, both of which consisted of almost missed layovers. And I got back to LA and I was so sick. Like, you know that feeling?
Yeah, that travel sick.
That feeling. And like when I was on my second flight, I was like, oh, I'm getting sick. And when we landed in LA, I was full blown, just like, I'm dead. I'm dying. Yeah. It was awful.
Full blown sick. That's the worst kind of sick.
Yeah.
When did you land? And are you still sick?
No, I mean, I'm getting over it, but it's why I'm drinking whiskey this episode.
Ooh.
Whiskey's supposed to be good. Yeah, exactly.
Are you going to keep the whiskey rolling into the live stream?
After this, we're recording or we're doing the live stream of Zombies 15. Yeah, I'll probably, I don't know. I might switch to wine since you have so much.
What?
He didn't offer that.
Wait, yeah, what?
Yeah, no, yes. Speaking of wine, I went to Sonoma with Heather for my birthday.
No, it looked amazing.
Holy shit. All right, first off, I'm just going to throw this out there.
Throw it out there.
I discovered that the 2 things that I discovered about myself.
Oh, that's good.
For a while back.
Oh, a while back. I thought you meant on this trip.
No.
Oh.
But 2 things that I discovered about myself.
Yeah.
1, I don't think I really like barbecue.
What?
Like going to a barbecue joint and just having a plate full of beef.
Meat? That sounds amazing.
I'm with Alex.
What's wrong with you guys?
Never
Here's the
was a
thing.
fan.
What?
I used to be a fan. I used to be like, let's go. And then I would always walk out of a barbecue joint like, I feel like shit.
Oh.
Like I enjoyed the taste. I enjoyed the experience, but I just feel like shit. So I kind of discovered, I was like, you know what? I just don't think I'm going to go seek out a barbecue joint. Now, I make brisket. I make ribs. Like I'll eat what we classify as barbecue.
Right.
Barbecue. I just don't like the process of going to a barbecue joint.
I made that discovery.
Yeah,
I made that discovery with movie theater popcorn butter.
Oh.
I no longer put butter on my movie theater popcorn.
You are now longering
because I realized I was like, I put butter on it and I feel disgusting afterwards. I don't put butter on it and I feel good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's still classified as butter. I feel like that's sort of like the McDonald's shake.
No, well, but
where it's like, do you want butter? And you're like, oh, I'll have
it is at the arc light
of butter.
The arc light, it's real butter.
Yeah. So the other thing, first off, I totally agree with you. And I never had butter because I was like, this is so much. It's so salty and it's already good.
Yeah.
Although butter at movie theater places can mask the stale popcorn when you end up with stale popcorn. So there's a time and a place.
Right. Okay. Got it. Okay. So you don't like barbecue.
So here's the second thing.
What's the other thing?
I don't like wine tasting.
What?
I've gotten there too.
No, here's the thing. I like drinking wine.
You're like, just let me drink
drinking new wines.
Yeah.
But I went to I can't remember where it was, but we went wine tasting with another couple.
Yeah.
And this couple was hell-bent on drinking as much wine as possible in the shortest amount of time. Like, we would walk in and they'd be like, here's our $15, give us our flight. And we were like, bam, 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 let's go, next place.
Oh, God, I just feel gross.
Yes.
I would prefer that as opposed to sitting around listening to them talk about the wines.
Oh, God, no. See, for me, I just want to try the different types of wine, appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to get fucked up and be like at like 4 o'clock walking through the streets trying to find like a piece of bread.
Yeah.
And then going, we have a dinner.
Because that kind of like
hour.
super wine drunk is painful too.
So so I was like, all right. So I'm a member of this travel club thing called Inspirato.
Yeah, that sounds fancy.
It's super fancy, super fun. It was a gift
you
from my parents.
You have to drive a Tesla to be on it.
You have to drive a Tesla to get your Inspirato. But one of the things they do, they own a bunch of properties around the world, and one of the things they do is these things called jaunts, which is basically like some of the properties are huge, very expensive, but every Wednesday they come out with a list of like 10 properties that if you go in the next 3 to 4 weeks, you get it at a super cheap discount.
Got it.
Cool. So I told Heather, I was like, we're going somewhere. Fucking go. We're going somewhere. I'm going to book something. We're going.
Right.
And so Wednesday before we left,
you checked it out.
I just went and I was looking through them and I go, great, there's a place in Sonoma.
Yep.
I was like, we're going.
Yeah. You get it for super cheap?
But again, yeah, super cheap.
Yeah.
And it was right in Healdsburg, which is a
Healdsburg.
It's like one of the nicest little towns I've ever been. Like it was just quaint. There's like a square in the middle that's like a park and people are out. There was a festival when we were there. Wow. And it's all of these wine tasting joints because it's in wine country. You know?
Right.
Anyway, so
was there barbecue?
No, thankfully no. Was there barbecue? There might have been. I can't remember. Although we did go and do. Well, I'll tell you about this one dinner that we did. But anyway, so what ended up happening was one of the things with Inspirato is they like call you. There's like a concierge and there's like a trip expert, and they call you and all this stuff. And we've done a couple trips through them, and I'm like, don't stop calling. Like, stop calling me.
Yeah,
I've already booked the place.
Yeah.
Stop fucking calling me. But with this one, I was like, well, I don't really know Healdsburg or Sonoma. And so we got on the phone like 2 days before we left.
Right.
And the person was like, well, what do you want to do?
You're like, drink wine.
Well, and I said, look, here's the deal. I don't want to go wine tasting. Like,
I don't want to taste wine. I don't want to eat barbecue.
Yeah.
I want to drink wine.
I want to drink wine
and
not eat barbecue.
Yeah.
And he goes, I got you. So he set up these winery visits. We did probably one a day. We had one day that had two, and we actually canceled one of them because it was like all Chardonnay.
Too
I'm
much.
not a big Chardonnay person.
Too much Chardonnay.
Not a Chard fan.
But it was fucking amazing. It was one of the best trips of my life. It was so amazing. So we get to Healdsburg. It's like we're right in the city or in the center of this town. It's gorgeous. We just wander around. We have dinner that night. That they got us reservations for dinner every single night.
Oh, wow.
And so it's just like, go here at this time and go here at this time for dinner. And I was like, yeah, great. So the first day we went to this place called Blue Rock Vineyards, which was amazing. And by the way, you can tell that it's amazing because I have 1,000 Blue Rock bottles.
I was waiting to bring this up. So listeners at home, when you walk into Alex's kitchen right now, he literally has easily 20 bottles of wine hanging out on the counter.
Yeah.
Because that's all the bottles of wine that did not fit in the wine fridge.
Correct.
Or the regular fridge.
Correct. We need to buy another wine fridge because we just bought so much wine.
You bought all the wine. And did you say you have more cases coming?
We have more cases coming, yeah.
That's insane.
Really?
Well, it was one of those things. Like we go to this place. The Blue Rock Vineyards was the first place we show up.
Yeah.
We drive in. It's gorgeous. Like it's just whatever you think of as like a gorgeous, smaller vineyard. This is what it was. I think it was like 75 acres, 25 acres, something like that. But we walk in, and of course, I'm assuming this is like open, like it's open, and there will be people, and then maybe we'll have a little bit of a like nice semi-VIP feeling.
Right.
No. This lady comes out and was like, Alex, Heather? And we're like, yeah. And
just the two of you?
I was like, oh, hi, I'm Carol. Come on in. It's so great to, thanks for coming. And we're like, yeah. And she walks us into like the main like converted barn into like this gorgeous tasting room. And there's just a bottle of wine with 3 glasses. And she was like,
I just snorted.
So I figured,
I got so excited I snorted.
Yeah. We were the only
sit there and drink with you
on the vineyard.
I love that she's going to drink with you, though,
too.
I
was just going to say.
Yeah.
Because she's the house sommelier. So she's like, and then she like pours us the wine. So we're sitting in like the lobby and we're like, this is fucking gorgeous. Like, what the fuck? And we're just having a good time. And then all of a sudden, this guy comes around the corner and goes, you guys sound fun.
You guys sound fun.
Yeah, he was like, I don't usually do this, but I own the vineyard.
Wow.
And so the owner of the vineyard was there giving a tour to his like 2 friends from Nashville.
So no wonder you bought 26 cases of wine.
But the crazy thing was, every experience was like that.
Yeah.
The next day we went to this place called Trinity, and I think it's Akaibo is what they call it. It's sort of a weird thing, but it's based on it's this French guy who has a place in Burgundy that came out to Sonoma to make Burgundian wines.
Burgundian wines.
Yeah,
I've
and
never
so he
heard
like
that
ripped
before.
up all the it was Chardonnay before he bought the place, and he was like ripped it all up, put in old vine Burgundian stuff.
Right.
Fuck, that wine was great.
Ooh.
And it was like this French dude just wandering around, and he was like, "Oh yes," because he was like, "Well, do you eat everything?" And I was like, "Well, I don't like tomatoes." And he was like, "Oh, this is too bad. I brought fresh tomatoes from my home garden."
It's a big insult if you don't have it. I understand.
Yeah. Well, and then he baked a fresh loaf of homemade French bread.
What?
Oh, wow.
And so we
That
sat
sounds
there
like my
and drank
heaven.
wine there. And then, of course, in comes the owner. It's like,
sound like
"You guys
fun."
sound fun. Because I realized most people aren't fun.
Yeah, no.
They're wine snobs. Like the ones who can afford
yeah.
those things generally are like
Because
really.
we can't
Well,
afford them.
I'm
We
also
just
gonna
got
say-
Says the guy who came home with 30 cases
I know.
of wine.
I'm also going to say you're probably 20 years younger than most of the people who do this too.
This is true.
Yeah.
But that wasn't even the best experience. Best experience, bar none.
Yeah. Ooh.
So
none.
basically the one thing this guy had said was like, "Look, I can get you into this restaurant," and I was like, "Okay, what's the restaurant?"
I
They
can
were
get
like,
you in.
"This restaurant is going to become the French Laundry
Okay, I was
of
gonna say
Healdsburg. Like it's this fancy chef
French
that's
Laundry
like
of
on the thing, and it's like
Spanish laundry.
because
Yeah.
basically it's like this. They're like, look, first off, they were like, I got a guy. I'm going to call him because we do this stuff.
Right.
I'm going to see if I can get you in.
Right.
It's usually like 3 to 4 months to get a reservation.
Wow.
It's an 11-course tasting menu.
My gosh.
3.5 hours.
Yum.
That's
Not
an
cheap.
event.
Not
Not
I was going to say.
cheap. I was so disappointed.
What?
Are you
it's the
serious?
French laundry of Healdsburg.
Wait, you said this was the best part.
No. The best
Oh.
experience was the day after this.
Oh.
The reason why it was so good was because compared to this, we were like, fuck, man. What we would have done that.
Yeah.
So
Oh dear.
it's 11 course. So we show up. First
Yeah.
off, Heather and I are very unpretentious people,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So like, there's a part of us that's like, what is happening here? So we show up, and they're like, Alex, Heather, and we're like,
Yeah?
And they were like,
sound like fun
welcome. We'll bring you into, we're gonna seat you in a second, but if you'd like, the chef has prepared a small, like fucking pressed melon drink at the window.
At the
And we walk up, and
window.
there's a giant window,
Right.
And you can see in, and all the chefs doing all the chef stuff. And this guy puts down 2 like
melon drinks.
melon drinks,
Drink these and get
then
outta
we're
here,
sort of
kid.
awkwardly standing at the window, like, are we supposed to say anything to the?
Yeah.
Like now we're just watching, but then another party comes in, and so then we're
They have
sort
to
of
get
like
their melon
awkwardly
drinks?
moving away
Yeah.
from them. And then we just sort of pound the drink because we're like, well, I'm not going to stand here and just sip this. I don't
Right.
even know what's happening. And then they were like, okay, come with us. So they walk us over and sit us down. And then it's just like, everybody keeps coming in. It's like, Alex, Heather, how are you? And I'm like, oh God.
You're like, oh, I don't
this
want
is
everyone
too
to know
much.
my name.
And get out of my business. Like, I
Right.
can't. You can't. It's like
Let me
every
eat my
time I
food.
start a sentence at Heather, somebody else is over. Alex, Heather, how's everything? I'm like, great. Can we
Cool.
just get like 5
Yeah.
minutes to fucking chill? And then it was like, it was all Japanese food, like crazy Japanese food.
Oh.
Not like fun sushi,
Right.
but like fucking
Hardcore,
Japanese
real
food.
Japanese food.
Like shit, like smoked
Like-
mackerel. And I was like, don't eat that. And so then it was like, so some
Where's
of the
that barbecue
bites-
now, huh?
Yeah, no shit. So some of the bites were like the most amazing. Like we had this strip of Wagyu beef
Oh my
that was like the most amazing fucking thing.
Yes.
But then we had like, essence of squeezed uni guts, and you're just like, no.
Is that really a thing?
But then the other thing is, you're there, and it's 11 courses, so we had to finish it.
yeah, you can't
to
leave.
go?
Yeah, but you can't say like, that course, I didn't really like that course.
No,
Right.
You can just take this away, please.
Right.
So I'm like eating this shit, and like they did this foie gras. Like I love foie gras,
Yeah.
but foie gras, if not done right, it's kind of funky. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I don't
it's
like
basically
it.
pate.
Yeah.
You can get it done right?
I know. I can handle a bite or two here or there,
No,
but
no,
it's
no.
not something that I'm like, oh, I can't wait to eat this.
No, not
No?
at this place.
No.
Anyway, long story short,
That was
Heather and
terrible.
I were having a great time talking about how weird it was.
Okay.
It was like being in a
So
Stepper
then,
West thing.
I want to know what the best experience was.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
So
If you
we're
tell me
talking
In-N-Out
about things.
Burger, I'm going to flip a table.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
So we're talking about this to this guy about like these different experiences, and he was like, "Well, look,
Yeah.
there's an experience that you can do for lunch
Ooh.
at this place called Oh my God, why is my Arista.
So this is like after the dinner, the next day you're doing your
lunch.
wine tasting, and we're
doing
there.
wine tasting, and he said there's this sort of like off menu thing that you can do.
Ooh.
Yeah, at Arista, which is it's a wine and lunch pairing.
Perfect.
Now, half the price.
Yeah.
Per person, right? I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna go to this place. It's gonna be like a bunch of people tasting wines, but we're gonna have our own little like private place where we're gonna have like French baguette food, like
all I
gourmet
want
sandwiches,
in life
right?
Is to drink wine and eat French bread and cheese, and maybe some meat.
And
like that's all I want to do for the rest of my life.
We were like excited, but we didn't expect it to be anything sort of like crazy,
right?
Holy shit!
What was it?
Crazy?
We show up,
yeah.
And Michael, who's the vineyard sommelier,
Michael
comes out, and he's just a lovely individual. I mean, Michael. We just hit it off. He's having a good time. He was like, "Where are you guys? Oh my God, where are you guys from? LA? Oh, it's just in Laguna with blah 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 blah. So this is great." And he was like, "You know what? We should have some rosé while we talk." And I was like, "Yes." So we go in, we get this rosé. Nobody else is there.
Oh.
And we get on his little like ATV, like the little like house ATV. Yeah. And he takes us on a tour. We end up bumping into this other guy who owns the vineyard next to them. That's like this super lovely guy.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Okay, we're gonna go meet the Chef Tim down at the garden."
Chef Tim.
So we literally show up to the garden.
Yeah.
And Tim, the chef, is there, and he's like, "Hey, how you guys doing? Nice to meet you." And this was on my birthday.
Oh.
And
special.
He's a Leo. And Michael's a Leo.
Great.
So both of them were. So we were like, "This is fucking great!" Like,
we're
happy birthday,
friends.
happy birthday, happy birthday.
Yeah.
They take us. He shows us the garden, like, "Oh, this is all the new stuff and all this stuff." And they take us into this pavilion, which is basically just all glass, looking out over the vineyards.
Oh my gosh!
It's me and Heather. There's 2 place settings. For food.
Wow.
And it's just Heather and I.
Wow.
And Michael sits down, the sommelier, and starts pouring us wine. And then this guy starts bringing
Chef
out
Tim is just bringing you food.
It was 1,000 times better than the food the night before. I mean, it was just like fucking great. And so then we're having...
What kind of food is it?
Oh, it was fantastic. It was what you would want, like the sort of like farm to table. Like it started with foie gras with like a crusty bread, but it's like the way you want to eat foie gras.
Crusty bread.
And it was so fucking good.
That's all I want.
And then he made homemade pasta.
Oh.
It was just like one thing after another. And then the last thing, we had a strawberry shortcake made with foie gras.
What?
Ooh, is that a good thing?
It was fucking good. It was one of the best desserts I've ever had in my life.
So
I want this meal in my life immediately.
It was so much fun. If you guys ever go up to Sonoma or just up to Sonoma, to Sonoma County, go to Arista, have their lunch experience.
Yeah.
So we were just like, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's cool.
So everywhere we went, the wine was so great. We were like, we got to get a little wine.
So you bought all the wine.
So we bought all the wine.
How many cases of wine did you buy?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Oh no.
I think was probably 5.
5 cases of wine.
Oh, you got a case is like what? 12.
12.
12.
All those boxes in there.
So you bought 60
6 each, right?
No, that's 12.
12
in
each
a box. Yeah.
Oh, really?
You bought
There's already like 5 boxes in
bottles
there.
of wine.
Yeah, I think so.
There's probably...
We also have 2 more coming because they don't want to ship it.
You guys, this is what we're drinking till Drunksmas. 60 bottles of wine.
I don't think any of that wine will be here. Available.
By Drunksmas?
No, I'm saying we're drinking it till Drunksmas. It'll get us.
But
I would love to if they let us.
I literally need to buy a new wine fridge. Anyway, so my birthday was great. Trip was great. Love everybody.
Hey man, happy 41st.
Hey, the sun went away.
Oh my God, you
the
guys!
Sun went away,
yeah,
guys.
what's up with that?
I have to tell you about the total solar eclipse.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm so glad that one of us actually.
I know.
Yeah.
Honestly.
You know that webcomic XK CD?
Yeah.
He released a really good one within the last day or two. That was like one of those charts, and it's like how amazing you expect something to be in person versus how amazing it actually is in person. Yep. And it's like meteor shower, blah, blah, blah. And then total solar eclipse is like the upper right-hand corner because I have never witnessed anything like this before in my life. Yeah. And, my parents live in Hilton Head. Hilton Head wasn't total. Hilton Head was hitting 93%, which
That's
means
still really good.
Yes. That's what you would think.
Yeah.
This is my point. Meaning the vast majority of people who lived in Hilton Head did not leave Hilton Head. but my parents and I were like one of the few people who drove up to Charleston, which is about 2.5 hours away from Hilton Head.
Yeah.
Charleston has a professional soccer team. Didn't know that.
The Charleston
Battery or something like that.
The Battery.
Because
so
there's
they store energy and then release it when needed. The Battery.
It's a long.
I think it means more like a military battery.
That's what he meant. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Sure.
They store energy too.
The potential energy of soldiers and releases it when attacked.
See?
So
it works.
There you go.
Thanks, Tom.
So
Tom got it.
The stadium, the soccer stadium had like a big festival thing where they have this jumbo screen, and NASA had a live stream the whole day.
I watched most of it.
So they just aired the NASA live stream on the jumbo screen, which apparently was the biggest screen you could see the NASA live stream on in the whole U.S.
Well, that's fun.
And then it was like food vendors and drinks and whatever. It was fine.
So it was like a stadium event.
Yes. So we got there like right around.
Were you on the field, or could you sit in the thing?
You could sit in the stands, or you could sit on the field.
Great.
There's a practice field attached to the stadium. We actually went over there because there were only like 8 or 9 people over there, and there were some trees, so there was shade because it was really hot. It was really hot that day. And it was just
the sun was like, "You're gonna miss me, fuckers."
Exactly.
I'll show you what you're missing, dicks.
Yeah, but it was just like calmer there. You weren't in like the chaos of the stadium and all that.
Yeah. Well, did you heard about the 2 days prior? There were some of the worst traffic jams in the history of traffic.
Didn't hear that, no.
Because there were all these small towns that had like one little road that would get you to the totality.
Right.
And everybody was just like, well, fuck it. We'll just hop in the car and go up to the little town. And it just was like backed up.
Yeah.
Like, Independence Day backed up.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was crazy. We got there at like 11:30, and totality, the eclipse didn't even start in Charleston until like 1:16 or something like that. Okay. And that totality wasn't until 2:45.
Right, because it's a slow process. I mean,
So we got there at 11:30, and then it was like just sitting around, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is really boring." And I'm just
was
sweaty.
This worth it?
Yeah, no, it was a little like, "Oh my god." And then, but admission to this festival you got glasses.
Oh, good.
You got the proper glasses
because people were like,
lining
up. I have like 4 if anybody wants to buy any for 2024. I got a couple extras.
So they give us the glasses, and then like around 1:30, finally we're like looking up, and we're like, "Oh, cool! The eclipse is starting!" And it's just like cool. And then that's when we moved to the side field, and as it kept getting closer and closer, and you could tell that it was getting a little darker, and it was getting a little cooler. Yeah. And then I eventually, like when it was getting near, probably around 2:30. So totality was at like 2:45. Around 2:30, I was like, I'm just gonna lie on the grass and stare straight up for the rest of this.
Yeah, with your glasses on.
With my glasses on, obviously, yeah. So I'm just lying in the grass.
We have a fun story.
Oh, great. I'm lying in the grass, and I'm staring straight up, and they're making announcements. Like I can hear the NASA stream and all that kind of stuff, and they're making announcements for us as well. And they're like, right now is 93%. And so I'm like, oh, this is what Hilton Head is getting. And it's really cool because it just looks like a sliver, like a crescent moon, you know? And you're like, wow. And then you can see over to our right, there's just like storm clouds brewing. And you're like, oh my God, fuck you, storm clouds. We need 15 more minutes.
Yeah.
We need 15 more minutes. And so I'm staring at this thing, and like it keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And then the clouds are coming in, and the clouds are coming in, and it's getting darker and darker and darker. It's getting eerie and eerie and eerie. And then right at that last moment, it's like this bright, it's just like a flash. The light is brighter than what the sun has been. It like flashes, and then it feels like the moon just locks into place. And you look at it and you're like, oh my God. Like I cried, you guys.
Will die in 7 days.
No, yeah, right?
Yeah, the ring.
Well, you understand why before the human race understood what space was, why people thought this was end times.
Yeah.
Because it's so eerie. It's so cool. And the sky is just like this insane color gray.
Now, did you take your glasses off? Because during totality,
you can take your glasses off.
During totality?
Yes.
During totality,
I took them right off. I actually was looking at right when that flashed, I was like, boom. I took it off, and I was like, oh my God. And I snapped the photo that I posted on Instagram, and then I ran over to my parents and I took a selfie with them, and then I just stared at it and cried. I can't, I get teary-eyed thinking about it. It's so,
that's cool.
You see the videos, but if you see it in person, you're just like, whoa. And then Charleston was supposed to, or not supposed to. Charleston had totality for I think 2.5 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
But we only saw it for about a minute because so it hit totality and immediately the storm off to our right, lightning storm. Lightning. So I'm looking up at this completely covered sun because you can see it. It's not like it disappears.
Yeah.
You see it, and then it's lightning striking off to the right, and the clouds coming in. And so about a minute after it happened, the clouds just like completely covered everything.
Yeah.
So you couldn't see anything, and then it's just this incoming lightning storm, and they were like, "We have to evacuate the stadium."
Amazing.
It was just like you have to go because there's a lightning storm coming in.
Yeah.
So it was like we got to see it, and then it was like out. We are out.
Wow.
How pissed would you have been if that thing got in the way?
Oh, I would have been so upset. I would have been so upset. But there's something amazing. There's something so amazing about the fact that. I got to see it like it happened. You see the lightning and then you're done. Like that's
Yeah.
You don't hang around for the other side. You didn't hang around for the sun to come back out.
Yeah. You're like, who cares?
It was
boring sun.
It was well worth.
The sun's coming back.
It was well worth the 4 insane plane rides and getting really sick. It was so
well. Now,
cool.
I mean, so the next one's in 2024.
Yeah, that one goes straight up the U.S. I think.
Yeah, it's sort of like from like Baja, California, up through St. Louis. So it's more like like that.
I mean, I would put it out there if you have an opportunity to go see it, you go see it.
I really wanted to. It was like
2024.
Yeah. So let's just make sure.
Hopefully.
You know what? I'm going to set a reminder on my iPhone.
Okay, great. There you go.
For 2024.
Yeah.
We'll get the group back together, do the podcast.
Yeah, one last time.
Yeah.
After our 2 years of retirement. Yeah. So, look, a lot of smart people.
Oh.
Were told not to look at the sun.
I think a lot of not smart people were told not to look at the sun.
This is my favorite. This is my favorite story.
Okay.
Oh, no.
That came out of the.
It's not about our president, is it?
No, that was another
that
one.
photo. I was like, oh my god.
So apropos.
Jeez.
Ready for this?
Yes.
I don't know. Am I?
Rapper.
Oh no.
Who stared at eclipse abruptly cancels concerts.
Oh no.
So Joey Badass, and the S's are dollar signs.
I think I know who Joey Badass is.
Right?
So on Twitter,
jeez,
this is the order of events. Right? You ready? Mm-hmm. He's doing a concert tour, leading up to the eclipse.
Yeah.
He goes on Twitter.
Yeah.
Am I crazy for watching the eclipse today with no glasses?
Yes.
I've sun-gazed before and afterwards saw colors for a day, but I didn't die, though.
It wasn't about dying. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then he goes on Twitter. Oh my gosh. This ain't the first solar eclipse, and I'm pretty sure our ancestors didn't have no fancy eyewear, and I'm pretty sure they all didn't go blind.
I'm pretty sure they didn't know the eclipse was happening until it happened.
Yeah, you ready for this? Eclipse happens.
Yeah.
He immediately cancels the rest of his tour.
Oh my gosh.
Because of eye injuries.
Yes.
That's ridiculous. Because of eye injuries.
Unforeseen circumstances.
Wow.
I love that he even said unforeseen circumstances.
Yes, unforeseen.
Completely foreseen.
Foreseen circumstances.
Foreseen circumstances.
Yes.
For entirely foreseen circumstances.
Oh my gosh.
So
I'm going to jump in front of this bus.
Nothing's going to happen.
A day later.
Yeah.
Unforeseen circumstances.
Yeah.
We must cancel this tour. Really? Are those unforeseen circumstances? Yeah. Right?
That's insane.
I mean,
I don't even understand how you can stare at the sun. Like, that's the thing with these glasses. Like, you're so amazed when you put them on. And I'm sure everyone did this. You kind of like peek out and you're like, nope. You can't even like.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
You can't even look for a second.
Well, but you can. The problem is that you can't look for a second until about like a minute prior to totality. So as it's getting very close to totality,
I see. People look then.
There's less radiation. You're still getting all the ultraviolet issue.
Right.
You're getting all the ultraviolet radiation. You're just not getting.
It's not the brightness. So your eyes aren't like squinting away. I see.
As the guy said, because I saw this person speak about the total solar eclipse, which I talked about a couple months ago. But one of the things he said was the real big problem is that by the time you are feeling any pain, that's actually the back nerves that are now getting fried because it's fried everything leading up to the nerves.
Way.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So there's nothing. That's why, like, when they do LASIK, they don't numb it, but they don't need to. Like, they shave off your eyeball because you don't have nerves in like the cornea of your eye. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Oh my god.
although I guess that's not true because you can scratch your cornea and it hurts like a fucker.
Oh God.
I don't know.
let's not talk
Anyway,
about
long
that.
story short.
I
I
didn't
just
realize
love
that.
that
I
this
guess
actually happened.
I just left my glasses on until like that like flash happened. I was like, oh yeah.
You were like Clark Kent turning into Superman.
It
Or-
was so cool.
Kara something or other
Kara L.
turning into Supergirl. I don't know.
That's
Supergirl.
close enough.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh, Joey badass.
Joey, you are badass, Joey.
He's gonna be wearing glasses for the rest of his. I mean, like
Yep.
sunglasses, just
He's gonna
covering
be
it
called
up.
Joey Bad Eyes.
Joey
Bad
badass.
This is horrible. I feel bad. A little
Why?
bit bad.
You made the
bit bad.
mistake.
I know. I
Yeah.
just feel like it's so easy to
nobody
mock
warned
somebody
them?
that goes, science, fuck you. And it's like, really?
Yeah.
Really? Science is sort of
I
the
didn't
reason why
read this
most people
article.
are alive.
I didn't read this article. I just saw the headline, but apparently, flat earthers, you know,
God, yeah.
people who believe the Earth is flat, think that the total solar eclipse proved their theory.
What?
I know.
First off, A,
Yeah.
they don't have a theory. There is
Yeah.
no theory because you have to have the absence of fact in order to have a theory, right? Like you can't see a fact. Like I can't go, I have a theory that cars don't actually move forward
Right.
because there's no way they don't move forward.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yes.
it's like that's not a theory. That's just a fallacy. You know what I mean? Like it's not like, well, it hasn't been proven that it's actually substantially,
Yeah.
unequivocally.
Yeah.
I've known people that have seen the Earth from above,
Right.
and it's round.
They're called astronauts.
They're called astronauts,
Yeah.
Or high pilots.
High pilots.
pilots.
High pilots.
High pilots.
AKA astronauts.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. Well, look, we had a lot of stuff to cover in our own lives.
I know, we
Mainly
did.
my birthday trip
Yeah.
and your Gen Con trip.
Yep. And the sun.
your emotional response to
Oh my God.
the sun being hidden by Sky Monster.
It was insane. It was insane. And you know that
Monster.
apparently we're the only planet that can get a total solar eclipse?
Yeah, because it has to do with the precise distance of
the moon.
in proportion to
Yeah.
the
So
sun
other planets
and us.
Other planets do not have total solar eclipse.
Earth rules,
It
man.
is
That's why we're the
eclipse
best.
eye?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Pluto. We took you away.
Yeah. You're no longer
you
a
suck
planet.
so much we just said, no, you're not even a planet. Just ask Joey Badass.
Oh, Joey bad.
So bad. So bad. He seems like a
Oh
nice
my
guy.
gosh.
I mean,
Does he?
I
Does
don't.
he?
He's
Why
not
did
so
why
smart.
did
Nice
not
guy.
one single one of his Twitter followers tell him not to do that?
I can
probably
only imagine a
egged him
lot of
on.
them were like,
Yeah.
Joey, no.
No.
Mr. Badass.
No. One of my friends, it was her birthday that day, and she posted on Instagram. She's like, "It's my
That was
birthday."
my mom's birthday.
Oh yeah, she was like, "It's my birthday. Spent the day with my head in a box." 'Cause she made one of those
Amazing.
things.
Yeah.
I was like, that's amazing.
The eclipse box.
All right.
All
we
right.
do it?
We did it.
No, we did it.
We did it.
Ugh,
Done
I've
did
missed
it.
you guys so much. I don't want it to be over.
Well, it's okay because
Missed
now we get to
us?
go
I
do
know.
some
We're back to our
live streaming
regular
fun stuff.
We're back to our regular routine.
No, I know,
too.
but we get to.
Yeah, we get to go in there and play some zombies. It's
Or
gonna be
here.
fun.
We'll see.
Hey everyone at home, thank you for listening. If you would like to email us, you can email us at halfhourhappyhourfans@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter, halfhourhappyhr. Please subscribe to us and rate us and share us with your friends on whatever you listen to us on, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, whatever else it is. I'm sure there's other options. All right. Anyway, that's it for this episode of the Half Hour Happy Hour with Alison and Alex. I'm Alison Haislip.
And I'm Alex Albrecht. Sitting in with us as always, the flight engineer extraordinaire, Tom Super Volcano Krajewski.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having us.
Don't stare at the sun,
Ears.
kids.
Don't scare.
Thanks.
See ya.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.